that my friend Peter presently watching a video out of Vienna, Austria that my friend Peter Kuroshi turned me on to just to open us up. This is the crew from Vienna throwing down some 90s style gnar with, obviously the music is relatively European and good. These kids are hooligans. Alright, so in a minute, Mike Villalobos, oh, there you are. I'm tapping it. Share the broadcast. Approve. It's adding him. It's adding, so everyone just hang on and enjoy the ride. We're doing a split screen today, and we're going to see if we can save it to YouTube as well. I have a feeling that this video will be Facebook only. So we're just, my friend Evan is here. Give him a wave, Evan. Evan's in here. It's a Saturday morning here at Lou's house. It's a Saturday afternoon at Mike's house. And it says it's still adding him, and it's not working yet. So we're gonna see what the dealio is, yo. Okay, so let's see what's going on. In the meantime, we're enjoying this Vienna, Austria supercut of street hooliganry from Peter Kuroshi. Vienna. Wien. Mike had to turn on the mic, so we're gonna try it again. This is tech. I approve. Adding. So we're gonna look at Mike's operation today, because Mike's has an operation that has proved me dead wrong repeatedly. And there he is.
I guess
Mike Villalobos too. Out of Tucson, Arizona. We've got Mike on the line. Yeah. So, Mike, how's your day going? What did you do today, skateboard-wise?
Oh, so had to roll some glue, get some boards in the press, and then I had the joy of one of my hydraulic jacks went out, so I got the car jack in there.
And how did your hydraulic jack go out? What was the failure?
In this case, it's this one in specific. Right there at the pivoting thing, whatever, this part.
Point at it, yep.
And the screws, it's heavily saturated, so it leaked there. Sorry, I have the new member of the family in the hands. No board maker is not complete without the puppy, you know?
I want to boop the snoot. I'll be right there. Let me jump on my motorcycle in 8 inches of snow in Cincinnati and ride to Tucson. I'll be over in a little while to boop the scoot.
Yeah, so since you got Rocco and every board maker's got some dog, we got a couple pugs here, but he's the new member. But the girls named him Post Malone, but I call him Toodles.
What do you call him?
Toodles.
That'll do.
Like from Peter Pan.
Post Malone. You could probably call Post Malone Toodles as well.
Yeah, I probably could. I just didn't like the name. Our other two pugs, one's Michael Jackson and the other one's Bubba Sparks.
So this is a good day to talk. Mike, you have an interesting workshop that I said could never be done.
Yeah.
And I'm delighting to eat my own words, because I'll do plenty of it, and it's good practice on something small. Oh no, it's huge. My advice would have stopped you in your tracks from being a board maker.
Yep.
But like a smart person, you didn't listen to me. And I encourage all of you to do the same. If you hear what I'm saying, don't take it as authoritative, because I'm just one of us learning down here. I told Mike that you couldn't press boards in 114 degrees, roll glue, press boards, and I had a point. What did you do, Mike, to overcome your climate issues? What's the deal? How did you find a way around that?
All right, so it all starts obviously with your mold. Mine being concrete adds to the heat factor, because concrete does take in the heat and it holds the heat, and that puts that into the wood, dries it out, so on and so forth. So being out here where it's 114, 115 daily in the summer, it's impossible to press during the day. So by what you were saying then, you were right. But in the evenings, it cools off into the 90s. Now, we also have the monsoon weather.
Just really quick, The operative temperature for glue, open work time on glue, is 70 to 50. 50 to 70 degrees is where glue behaves properly. We're talking to a guy who has succeeded in pressing great boards, where he's saying that 90 degrees was his doorway to success. Keep talking, Mike.
So yeah, 20 degrees above the acceptable part, but at least it's cool enough, at least to us Arizonans, once the sun goes away, it's not as blaring hot. We also have to factor if the monsoons, randomly it can rain at any given time in the summer within like 5 minutes. You can have blue skies, and then you have skies like these. This is like an odd day. And that makes it even harder because you can't leave that outside in the press and let it get soaked.
Have you had a board get soaked in the press by a monsoon rain?
I have. I've actually had to leave it in the press longer. I've learned if it does get soaked. Now, when I do pressings, I leave them in overnight, which is why I'm so successful with the pressings, because the 4-hour window becomes a little bit more difficult. I go overboard with 12-ton hydraulic jacks, so 24 tons total, so I get that extra pressure I need in order for the glue to act right. So, but when the boards do get soaked, the glue is not dry. So I leave them in there for a few days at a time, and they'll be fine. I'm not like in a hurry on mass production. Mine is, I order enough wood for 6 boards. I usually have 3 for orders, and then the other 3 I kind of play, experiment with the plastic resin or fractal burning or whatever have you. And then usually people either want those or I just give stuff like that away.
And you did build your own fractal burner, didn't you?
I did. There is no tool for it. The closest thing you can get to it is buy a welder. That is your closest tool out there to it. Otherwise, you get a microwave, you take out the transformer, you get GTO rated cabling, so gas thermal oil cable, and you need it rated for 15,000 volts, roughly, is what you're aiming for. And you cannot buy that in store. That is something you have to special order. And it ain't cheap. I think it's like $20 a foot, roughly. So,
friends, I think you can see that. First of all, you can see today that Peter Kuroshi has good taste in skateboarding. And the second thing you can see is that Mike Villalobos is a bit of a savage. The guy builds his own fractal burner. Here he is pressing 20 full degrees above the maximum temperature rating on his glue's open work time. Here's a guy who's got monsoon rains hitting his outdoor press. And Mike, you didn't even tarp it, and you're still able to power through that.
I have tried tarping, unfortunately, with the rains, and you still have that heat and a drastic drop in temperature from rains. It creates a very, very high humid environment underneath the press. So tarping makes matters worse.
It steams the situation.
Yes, it makes matters worse. So I've learned not to tarp if it rains. Oh well, it just means it's going to sit there for 3 days.
Okay, everything about this. Let's contrast this to, and again, you're 50% of what you're making, basically, roughly. I know it's loose, but basically 50% of what you make, you sell.
Yep.
Is that covering the cost of making and enjoying this hobby?
Yeah, pretty much. Usually about 2 boards will cover it because my prices range because as you've seen and a few of the other makers have seen, I range in the way I do graphics. Whether I'll do a stencil spray paint board or fractal burning obviously costs way more. I'll hand draw graphics or I even do the water slide decal technique. Usually that's the most effective, quickest, cheapest way for me. But if you want me to hand draw something, at this point, I've learned to charge more because I'll spend more time drawing the board than I do making it.
You hand drew a board for me that is hung right where I can see it every day. Here, I'm not going to show it right now because I got my camera set up like this. But I love you, bro.
Yeah, your board was this graphic.
Oh, dude, that is...
Sam Cook, Bryce Miller, you guys are going to have to make these for Lou, but change that to life.
Well, the funny thing is, you can just take a few letters in the same font from Fickle and spell life. I think I want to do that. I want to actually take the letters of Fickle, don't change the font or the capitalization, just actually mash them together into life. Since now, hey, for the first time in my life, I'm a sponsored.
Welcome to the world of sponsorship, Lou.
Oh, I tell you, this month has been really hard because of the rib breaks. Then the rib breaks led to a back problem, and then I went to Sam's Bowl and I got absolutely broke off, bruised ribs again, and I was feeling so low. And so a couple days later, I had a skate session here at the house. I had 3 sessions that day. First one, 10 minutes. It was just like trying to learn how to skate again. Second one was 25 minutes, and I was like, oh, here's everything, you know. And I was like, oh, good, I'm good again. And then we went to a skate park, and I couldn't do anything all over again. And being older, you know, I'm going on 48. I've got joints that are going on 78. And being sponsored by Life Skateboards is like hilarious because they just hit me up. Sam just hit me up and put me on notice that I'm going to be filming an on-purpose video part.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and prepare to be underwhelmed. But at the same time, I'm like, no, I'm watching guys skating who are inspiring me by being older and ripping their way. So, but back to your operation, Mike. I heard you say, so we've there's Christopher John Parker. Are you seeing the comments too, Mike?
On what?
On this feed or on this split
No,
screen?
I can't see the comments at all.
Okay,
I have to be holding my phone sideways for this.
My phone is always sideways. What do they call that? Landscape?
I guess so.
Yeah, I'm a landscape fiend because I want you guys to see what's behind me and enjoy, I guess, that fan and the decks that I don't produce anymore that are from an era where I ordered out. I want to replace everything behind me with maker-made stuff. I'm moving your stuff, Mike, behind me on the wall, all of it. But Wayne Wells is the one who drew that graphic, isn't he?
Yeah, Wayne did draw this graphic. And then I sent you a text the other day where I actually took out the Fickle and I put the Life logo on there. But yeah, he drew up that graphic. He gave permission for me specifically, and I got permission from you to make a small run of stuff. But, you know, no one really got onto it. So I was like, whatever, I had fun with it. Make stickers.
Well,
I sent stickers out.
I'm going to change it up, and I'm going to see if I can actually burn the screens and do the multi-layer here in the shop and offer my face, my body, that image of that shirt to folks who like what I'm doing in terms of this, and see if I can fund getting a permanent vertical camera here, getting a permanent vertical camera on the glue table so I can do more build-throughs and stuff with people and continue to pollute the world with my ridiculous open culture propaganda.
Yep.
But back to your operation, because today we were going to talk about something specific. What was it? Do you remember?
You didn't mention anything specific, but what I had in the works was a plastic resin deck, which I just finished up today.
Tell us what plastic resin even is.
Okay, so it is... I mean, I don't know how to break it down scientifically. It's just a different form of glue. It's not PVA. It is
what form
something
does it
you
come
add
in?
the water to.
Okay, so it comes in a powder
yourself.
form, right?
And then the problem is it is very heat sensitive. The hotter it is, the quicker it dries. And Darren is the one who turned me on to it. I like messing around with it, but I wouldn't do full production.
Really quick, Mike, that's Darren Mossman, right?
Yes.
And he's out of the Northwest. Where's he out of? Portland? Seattle?
Oh, man. I think
Darren is out
Portland.
of the, yeah, I think he's definitely in the Northwest, and we've been
He
doing.
was near the riots early in the summer, real close to him. So,
God bless all you people who are experiencing that. Darren Mossman is miles deep in. He's got a tremendous mind for all this stuff and a big old heart for skateboarding. We love you, Darren. And so Darren turned us on to this powder form, add the water. Oh, he's back in Minneapolis. That's right. Thanks, Greg Pravaznik, for telling us. Darren's back in Minneapolis now. That's right. Darren turned us on to trying this plastic resin. What's the name of it? It's like urea. It has different names. It has urea in it or uric acid in it or something.
yeah, I'm not sure what it is. I mean, I just looked up plastic resin. He gave me a reference on Amazon. You can spend $30 on a tub, or I got a smaller tub for 20. But the problem is because of my conditions, I'm unable to use it in a more financial, better manner. I mean, usually I mix up a tub. I pretty much use the whole tub on one board, which financially $20 for an adhesive on a board is overkill. But for me, it's just experimental, so I have fun. And then people tend to, want to try it out. Like the one I was working on for Wayne is now complete with the water slide graphic.
Ooh, show it to us. Here. A little more.
Here, let me set it up, and then I'll show you. Flip the camera around.
Ooh.
So that's a water slide graphic on there, which is more of the easier stuff. And then, of course, I always leave the tops wood, but I always sign every deck I handmade.
Okay, I'm gonna point something out that I love. You used a core veneer for your top veneer. That is something I love seeing. That kind of texture. Turn it around and show it to us again, because I want to point this out how much I love it. When I first started, first thing they told us that you would never be able to make a good board because your barometrics aren't right. The next thing they told us was, like, you need to have the highest possible this and that, and that piece right there in the past would have been said, they would say put that inside the board or throw it out. That is a gorgeous look. It actually shows you that the thing is made of real wood by real people, and it screams authenticity to me. I would pick that board on a wall in a skate shop over the board that's got a perfect top ply but 3 pieces of Chinese birch inside it, frankly. I'm done ranting.
Alrighty. So yeah, I mean, that one just got its last coat of clear, so that'll probably get packaged up and sent out tomorrow.
And Wayne Wells is one of the greats of the elder brotherhood of skateboarding in my view. The guy is behind so many healthy, productive, inspiring things. As an artist, as a friend to so many people, he's part of an old school collector group that is super legit. I'm not going to put that group on blast right now, but that group of collectors, they embraced the reissue market because they're just enjoying fanning out on the nostalgia and the joy of skateboarding. And they came under fire in their early days for being all heart and embracing reissues. Now it's not so much a thing that bothers anyone, or it does still. I don't know. I don't care. But Wayne Wells has been a great guy in my life. So now back to your operation. I mean, like, Wayne painted that picture, and he gave me the actual original painting. It's in my office upstairs that I've never used and really ought to clean out and use. Mm-hmm. I've been hanging out down here every day. But so you're pressing outdoors. You're pressing in Tucson. Mm-hmm. You're pressing in high temperatures. Where do you roll your glue? Do you roll your glue in the heat?
Yep. That's the glue table. So 2 sawhorses, piece of plywood, and then the 2x4s where I put, once I put the glue on, I put them on there, and then I have the stack there that I just roll right off of. Straight out the heat, just as you see.
This should be a message to everyone who wonders whether they can make skateboards. Where did you get your mold?
So, there is another maker close near me, 2 hours north. His name is Chris Gobert.
Chris Gobert.
And he is a very, very good guy. I've never met him personally, but I followed him for a while on social media. And he sells his boards, fairly priced. He's very popular up in Phoenix because he knows a lot of people. And I asked permission. I'm like, hey, would you mind sending me an uncut and me making a mold out of it? Because we know a lot of people, your molds are near and dear to you, or you're just like open with it. It depends. If you get your CNC made, most likely you're open to other people using it because it's the same specs that they do, versus someone like you. Yours is more, personal because you hand did yours. So you have unique molds.
Ain't none of you getting an uncut off my presses.
Exactly. So, but still, I got permission, and he gave me permission. I was like, cool. So he sent me one down, and he pre-marked it, but I didn't realize it. But, I went through all the techniques that was given on the Makers Movement, which I joined about 4 years ago. Actually, a little over 4 years ago. I looked up. Me and you have been friends since 2018 of January, but I joined the movement before then because Tim Barclay turned me into it.
Tim, down in Georgia.
Yeah.
Good friend.
So
love Tim Barclay.
I jumped on and I did everything everybody said, from doing the whole mold, and that's the easiest, most financial effective way of doing it, in my opinion. So did that. However, it did take a while because everything takes money, and when you're supporting family, it's, you know, the hobby takes the backseat. But it took about a year to get the presses, and then from there, I made the first pressing January 2018. Yeah, right when you and me became friends, when I produced the first pressing.
Well, I'm really grateful for your friendship, and I'm really inspired. I'm inspired by your work specifically because I have a really strong passion, that is a willingness to suffer, for people making skateboards and decentralizing the skateboard production to where there's a maker in like every town, that if someone wants something special, you know, there was just a big brouhaha about wheelbase, and I'm like, what if I wanted to try a 17 or 18-inch wheelbase board for its benefits, for the difference about handles, and I realized like I would go straight to a maker. Sam Cook is a guy I would go straight to get that board, or actually, let's be real, I would make it. Yeah, here I built a concave for 18-inch wheelbases and like that, but I want that everywhere because of what it does to the skateboarder. It gives the skateboarder this great feeling that they can switch it up. As I say, they can quiver up. So, Mike, have the last word before we shut it down and see if we can get it onto YouTube. We're going to try to import this into YouTube. It's very likely that it won't allow the audio to come through, and I may do something too jank to rank, which is actually put a camera and play it on a device and take the camera shot with the poor audio quality and put this on YouTube anyway.
Hey, whatever
that's
works.
how I roll. Yeah. But have the last word, Mike. Anything you want to say about anything or anyone?
Yeah, whatever the rules are to board making, question them. Do what you can. I mean, you're either going to learn why those rules are in place, or you may find a way. I found my way.
Mike, what's your operative branding? Is it just you? Is it Outcast? What is your deal?
Okay, so all that's all over the place. So at the moment, I'm just focusing on me. You'll see me. I have a signature, and then I write handcrafted skateboards next to it. I do have a few. Outcast was just like the name brand thing. I started 2013, and I actually did that before that in high school, but it was shirts. And I mean, it didn't really pick up in trends. I can still do Outcast boards if people want them. I just like doing artwork, and if it doesn't fit Outcast, then I create something entirely different. Like I did a joke company called Rubber Ducky Grip Tape, and I would draw rubber duckies on grip tape. And I tried to like do that. I was like, hey, telling a friend how easy it is to start a company, but nobody wanted it. So I played with it. I let it die. I have another one I call Gentleman Skate Club. And that's not really a brand. It's just more of like a higher way of being as a skater, because we're all meant to, you know, fight authority and look like a bunch of scumbags in the streets. And when in reality, you know, we should be better people. We should treat people as we want to be treated, you know. So I just did that more as like a movement of doing what you want to help better people around you. It's not, you know, they don't have to be skaters, but to like change the perception that a skater is not some kid in the street that's going to go around and vandalize everything. So,
dude, that is good stuff. I did want to admit something. We didn't cover Mike's pedigree in skateboarding, which is deep. Mike has been sponsored by and done a whole bunch of things, and he's also accrued several exciting tales of injury and recovery. So we'll cover that again, Mike. I have a feeling that you and I are going to talk again split screen as soon as I can figure out how to get these to go to YouTube, because on YouTube I have everything archived by date and title topic, and I'm increasing the precision of how I do that. So
well, you'll like this. I'm not a sponsored skater anymore, but I am a sponsored board maker.
Mostly just
Spy sponsors me for board making.
Who's Spy?
Spy Optics. They make sunglasses.
Like music-wise, that's what I'll do.
I mean, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was actually something that started through the Hook It program. I get discounted eyewear and all that, but they give me insane deals. But I wrote them when I wasn't pushing for filming all the time for myself. I'm like, look, I film people, I skate, I do brands, but I'm like, I do board making. And they're like, screw it, we'll sponsor you for board making.
Well, gee, I mean, especially living in Tucson, you can't overstate the importance of quality optics for sun protection, man.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. Well, Mike, it's been great to have you on the feed today. Thanks for spending the time. And I really enjoyed eating this plate of crow, talking to a maker who I never thought that I would have said something like this, but it turns out I told Mike it can't be done. And I'm so happy to eat this plate of crow. And it really gives me pause before I think that I don't have a naysayer bone in my body, because it turns out I do. And I'm really grateful for Mike. He's a good friend. He's a radical skateboarder. He's a great dad and husband. And I hope that you guys enjoy the inspiration Mike brought you today. So, Mike, thanks for being with us. I'm going to kick you off and round this thing up, and then we'll post it up, and I'll see if I can get it on YouTube with audio. I doubt it.
Sounds good, though.
All right, friend. Peace, brother. Let's see. So let's see. We'll see if Mike, can you kick yourself off? I don't even know. I think we're stuck together.
You're stuck with me, Lou.
Let me see if it's here. Okay.
Here.
Allow your request.
Find my video of the little dog.
Oh, clear all. So turn that off. Turn this off. Oh, good. You got dog footage. Well, everyone, thanks for being with us. Again, I'm going to try and get this on YouTube, but it'll be on Facebook for as long as they'll let it be. Darren Mossman just joined. Darren, you got a great shout out during this, and hope you guys enjoy the rewatch. I'm going to save it, post it, and see where we wind up. Thanks, everybody, for being here, and I'll probably be back again to, I don't know, maybe I'll crap talk, or maybe I'll just talk about crap. We'll talk. See you later, guys. Peace.
Adios.
Thanks, Mike. Ooh. It is just us. I did find out how, accidentally, to do that. So I'm going to finish this up and get it saved, and I did learn another tech thing.